has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, we got Coach James Young here to talk about the men's and women's Olympic basketball tournaments that are going on in France. Tomorrow, it's all men all day. It starts early, 5 a.m. Eastern with Germany, Greece, 8:30 a.m. Serbia and Australia. At noon, France and Canada. At 3:30, we're on at 3. So at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, Brazil and the United States. Coach, good to see you. Hope you had a great weekend. What do you think of this United States game with Brazil? I think I saw it earlier at 27 and a hook. Now, look, this team they're playing has, I think, 5 starters that average double figures, and I think they lead the entire tournament field in offensive rebounding. That means they bust their ass on the glass. And I've always, as you know, been a huge fan of rebounding when it comes to winning basketball games. You get all the rebounds. Nobody gets second chances. Nobody gets putbacks. Nobody gets easy dunks. You dominate the glass at both ends of a basketball court. I'd say 8 out of 10 times you win the game.
You're right. Offense wins games. Offense, wins games with defense and rebounding, especially win championships for all. And if you really think about it, the Brazilians do a great job of attacking the offensive glass. So that could be one of two ways if you want to bet this. Number one, team total for the USA. If the USA can secure the rebound, that means there could be run-out opportunities depending on how many guys crash the glass for Brazil. The issue I have with the United States is they in the women too, they don't get off the really great starts. So I'm not going to lay the points. I like taking the USA in the second quarter, Ferrall, because Steve Kerr is going to play 11 guys. They're going to get up into you, and at some point the dam is going to break. In the game against Puerto Rico, it was a huge second and third quarter. They did that also, I think, versus South Sudan, beating them by 7 or 8. So look at the second quarter prop. Also, that's when you get guys like Anthony Edwards getting some more time, sometimes even with LeBron to kind of get going. So I like the USA in the second quarter. I think they get runouts. And if you think about a team that rebounds the ball well like Brazil, then you need to be looking at our best rebounder, who happens to be Anthony Davis. What 7.5 is his rebound prop? Maybe look at Anthony Davis to secure the defensive rebound.
So they've been averaging somewhere between 105 and 110 points. They put a $104 on Puerto Rico, and I never thought they had to try against Puerto Rico, to be honest with you. They put up a $103 against Sudan, and that was after everyone thought Sudan would give them a game based on their exhibition game against the 101-100, but they beat them 103-86, and the Serbia game was the biggest output, 110-84. What do you think they put up tomorrow against this tougher, physical Brazilian team?
Well, this Brazilian team also gave up 86 to Germany. They gave up 76 to France. I think 84 to Japan. So I think we can clear the century mark. You may want, like I said, play the game live. I just don't like how we start, right? I just feel like we're the team, Ferrall, that screws around for a little bit and then was like, oh, because we know at any point we could turn it on. So I think that's the key with me. The other thing you need to worry about, folks, and I know the three-point prop is coming down, and I've explained this before. I hope people know this. Do know that the FIBA basketball and the NBA ball are different. You know this, Ferrall. FIBA ball, 12 panels. NBA ball, 8 panels, right? So it affects the grip. The size of it's different, 29.5 versus 30.7 inches. Then you look at the weight, about 2 ounces of difference. It's a different ball, so be careful with three-point props. That being said, if Steph Curry's prop is at 2.5, at some point he's got to bust out. Maybe it's tomorrow afternoon.
I don't like that ball to begin with, son. France and Canada, who do you like in that game?
You know what, Ferrall? Simply put, you got to have guard play, right? And if you look at Canada with SGA, with Dort, with Brooks, with Barrett, they got better guard play than a French team that's relying on Evan Fournier, who couldn't get a time with not only the Knicks, but the Pistons and an over-the-hill Nicholas Batum. I love Canada minus 7.5. And the problem is this, Ferrall, they can't get the ball to Wemby. Like, that's their issue. Like, he had to bomb away from the three-point line versus Germany because he couldn't get anything inside. Give me Canada minus 7.5 tomorrow.
Serbia's laying 7.5 to Australia.
I'm looking at Bogdan Bogdanovic's points prop, probably hanging around 17.5. Ferrall, here's why. If you are Australia, you're going to surround the Joker. So when you look at Joker, rebounds plus assist props, maybe what you're looking at. But to me, Bogdanovic as a second scorer, he didn't get over 17. And the first two games, there were blowouts. Close game, South Sudan, 30. If it's a close game, he's the number 2 scorer. Bogdan Bogdanovic gets busy tomorrow.
So that Germany-Greece game is down to 7.5. It was at 8.5. Germany favored, and they obviously went 3-0, and they beat France, Brazil, and Japan, and they've looked really good.
Yeah, listen, Ferrall, Germany is the second best team in the world right now, in my opinion. Them and Canada, it'll be close, right? But when you look at what Germany does well, it's defend. Held teams to 71, 73, 77. Greece has the highest they've scored is 77. Give me the points prop under for Greece because what I think you'll have is you'll have Germany will play that, that Miami Heat defense where they cloud the lane and don't get Giannis to get to the basket. For 2 of the 3 games, Greece has shot under 30% from 3. Germany makes them bomb away, secure the rebound. Greece team total under tomorrow.
So what's your feeling about the women's side and the U.S. plays, who'd you say, Nigeria?
Play Nigeria. It's about a 25.5-point line. Don't quote me on that. It's kind of close to there. Ferrall, I'm going to say something to people, okay? It's very simple. They are starting the wrong lineup. It ain't even close. Stewie starts, good. Asia Wilson starts, good. Best 2 players in the world. It's the other 3 that's been the issue. I don't like Nafisha Collier starting with those 2 because they need space to operate so they can't score when Nafisha Collier's a 3. Then you have Taurasi and Chelsea Gray. Look at the game versus Germany. They started those 2, Gray and Taurasi. They didn't play after the first quarter, and they played much better. So here's your hint. If Cheryl Reeve goes with the same starting lineup, they tend to bring in Anescu and either Jackie Young or Jewel Lloyd. When those 2 check in, if the United States is closer losing, run to the window and take it then. The line will drop, and those girls are so much better. Ferrall, get those 2 ladies. I love them. Diana Taurasi, the GOAT. She shouldn't be starting. And by the way, you think Caitlin Clark could have given this team 15 minutes of playing time with the way she can shoot the rock? I think so.
All right, we know that she should have been on the team, and she's not, so have a sandwich. Who else is playing on Tuesday in the women's tournament?
Yeah, the women are on Wednesday. So the second best team to me, second best team in the world, to me, I do think, honestly, is the host country. So you do have some other games. You have, I think you have Spain playing in a game. I know that you have Canada's in there. But to me, the team to look at is the French team. They have a really good team. I think they are a team to be reckoned with this. So take a look at it. All right, so Serbia, Australia, Spain, Belgium. Belgium's good too. Remember, they only lost us by a double. They're pretty good. Germany, France, and then obviously us and Nigeria.
And Nigeria's going to get their ass beat. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. They're going to get their Wednesday. They're going to get their ass beat.
Yeah. And to quote the great philosopher Charles Barkley, I don't know about Nigeria, but Nigeria's in trouble, Ferrall.
All right, Coach. Enjoy the basketball on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll get you on C2C. Thanks, baby.
My man.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing a trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
So we go back to these 4 remaining baseball games. The Twins got hot. They've won a few games here. They finished off the White Sox, swept them. They've been winning left and right. They're taking on the Cubs, who just won that series against the Cardinals over the weekend. So the Cubs have been equally hot. A good game tonight at Wrigley as the Twins open up this series in Chicago. Festa for the Twins, Jimi Hendrix for the Cubs. And then as far as the number, I'm still seeing Minnesota minus $1.25 and the Cubs at plus $1.05. They might be a little bit different right here, but who do you like tonight? Twins and Cubs on the north side of Chicago.
I like the Twins tonight, Scott. I know we don't like to lay juice. It's only 25 cents, though. I think, we can get a win there to the window. Not a game that you absolutely love, but I just think Minnesota will find a way to get it done on the road. The price isn't too extravagant. So, yeah, I lean kind of Twins in that game. As for the home run props, I'm not sure who to take. Who do you like in this one? Do you got any guys?
Yeah, I like I'm going to go with Royce Lewis on the Twins. I like him. And I wouldn't mind seeing Santana rip one as well.
Yep.
And then as for the Cubs, let me see if I can get the Cubbies on there in terms of who they're going with tonight. I always like Happ, but who's been hitting them all of a sudden is Tauchman. Tauchman was hot over the weekend. Bellinger's back in the lineup. I wouldn't mind a Bellinger-Tauchman performance tonight. Boston and Kansas City at the K. The Big Maple, Paxton against Singer for the Royals. Singer's been great, a 2.8 ERA. I'm rolling Kansas City tonight, minus $1.30. And who do you like in that game? And in terms of anybody hitting home runs, Abreu was hitting them yesterday, hit 2 of them for the Red Sox. Duran hit one yesterday. We cashed and ring the bell with Devers over the weekend. I think it was Friday night we hit Devers. Anybody you like with home runs, and who do you like in that game? Boston and Kansas City.
I always like the Royals with cheese, Scotty. That's they're a team that I've been following and going on, and they've been making us money. As for the home runs, I got Bobby Witt Jr. It's only 3-1, but you know what? That's good enough for me. I think this guy stays hot. He's an absolute machine. So I know it's chalky, but I'm going to play it. That's going to be my guy, Bobby Witt Jr. tonight.
And do you see a number for Salvi Perez on there?
I think Salvi's like 6-1, something crazy. That's a good price.
I'll take a shot with
Let me
Salvi.
take a look.
All right, let's look at the White Sox and A's in the Ashtray in Oakland. Busch against Sears and Roebuck. The A's are heavy favorites, -210. I want no part of that, but I did bet the run line on it at even money. I took the A's on the run line over the White Sox, who've lost 20 straight games, and they're out west.
I love this spot. I'm going to say the number's horrible, Scott, but you know what? I like Oakland in this game. Make it a nice even 21 losses for the White Sox there. I do agree with the run line. And, that's basically what we're going to do. It's a parlay piece, too. If you like Oakland, find another dance partner because, anyway, even if Chicago's winning, they'll find a way to screw it up. Great games to play live are the White Sox. If they take an early lead, I just fade them.
I like the Butler, and I always like Rooker in our taters. Yeah. And the last game is Philly and the Dodgers, late night at Chavez Ravine. What a game. Nola against Glasnow, as good as it gets. How about this? Nola's +110. They've been losing. They finally snapped their 6-game skid yesterday. Glasnow's favored -$130. On the run line, you can get it at +158 if the Dodgers could beat the Phillies by a couple runs. I could actually see that happening with Glasnow on the hill and the way the Phillies have struggled over the last month scoring runs.
Tough game, Scotty, but I'm with you. I think the Dodgers are a nice price in this game. As for home run props, I don't have any in this game, but it should be a good one. Great pitching battle. I will take the LA Dodgers in this spot.
Yeah, I like the Dodgers in that spot tonight at Chavez Ravine as well. So the NFL Hall of Fame inductions went down over the weekend in Canton. Dwight Freeney gives advice to those looking to be NFL players one day on the NFL Network.
I realized in order to win the battles on the field, I had to win the battles internally with myself. I had to keep pushing myself not to be complacent or lazy, not to use excuses, and just make it happen. So if you're a young, aspiring, future NFL player, let me say this. Football is not an easy game. It can seem like an impossible journey. But always remember that your hard work and sacrifice are the keys to opening the door to your dreams. People will call you too slow, too short, not tough enough, not strong enough. Use those words as fuel to ignite the internal fire that will motivate you and push you to places that you never thought were possible. All those bumps and bruises that make you want to quit, fighting through that will make you into a better player and a better person. So I hope that you guys can look at my journey and what I went through and know that it's possible to become who you want to be.
And then there's Devin Hester. He says he hopes he opens the door for other guys to get their due on the NFL Network.
I hope me being here today opens up the doors and brings some attention to other guys like Brian Mitchell and Josh Cribbs, because I'm not the only returner who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just the first.
Yeah, I think that, frankly, Cam, someone else will get in as a returner, but it won't be anybody now. It'll be someone from the past because
what about Mel Gray?
I think these new rules now, there's no who's going to be successful running back kicks when no one can run the kickback.
Excellent point. But I'm telling you, I don't understand. When Mel Gray played for the Detroit Lions, he was the best return man ever. Nobody even talks about this guy. He was so ahead of his time. That guy was wicked, Scott. Not just good, wicked. He deserves a lot better, in my opinion. He's one of the most underrated players in the league.
Yeah, it's amazing that they've only let one guy in. I think they'll actually at some point go back and do the right thing and let some of these return guys that were great into the Hall of Fame. And then now I think it's going to be harder than ever to be a kick returner and ever get into the Hall of Fame. We still got more. Hopefully we'll hear from Andre Johnson, Megatron, and we'll talk about the possibilities for the next class going into Kansas.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Oh, he's playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Here. All right, so Andre Johnson, Megatron, was inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. He said he never thought he'd be where he was on Sirius XM's NFL radio.
It's a very small group. It's a lot of people that have played this game, and I think the moment for me was walking in that bus room and seeing my name up there, and you look at it and you're like, I've never said I wanted to be a Hall of Famer. I've never said or even envisioned myself, being a Hall of Famer. I've watched the speeches, I've watched guys get the knock, and I've never envisioned myself doing it. So it just really, really sets in to be considered a great.
Yeah, I'm tripping. Obviously, Andre Johnson, not Megatron. My bad.
Yep.
So anyway, there you go. He gets in to the Hall of Fame. That was awesome. Names like Eli Manning, and he is the first Texans player to get into the Hall of Fame, by the way. Luke Kuechly also headlined the possible newcomers for the 25 Hall of Fame class. Marshawn Lynch, Joe Staley, T. Suggs, Aqib Talib, Adam Vinatieri also eligible to get into the Hall of Fame next year. So we'll see if Eli and some of his buddies get into the Hall of Fame. There you go. Andre Johnson gets in from the Texans, and a big weekend in Canton at the Hall of Fame. Thank God the Hall of Fame game is over. I always find that to be the best high school game of the year. All right. Cam, let's talk a little bit about Kyle Shanahan. He talks about how the sophomore slump can hit players. Here's the Niners head coach.
You've emphasized a number of times the leap that players can make from rookie to second year. When they're going through their exit interviews, do you give a kind of a special emphasis to the outgoing rookies and giving that kind of message to them?
We do. I mean, there's lots. I mean, you want them to make that huge leap. Also, the second year sometimes is people's worst years too, because a lot of people, they finish college, they're trying so hard to make it in the league, they don't think about much, they're just going as hard as they can, and then that first season ends and they kind of sit back and relax and like, all right, I get it now, and they don't realize it, but they don't go through their offseason the same way they did getting prepared for the NFL. And then it's halfway through training camp and they realize, oh, man, I haven't made it yet. It's totally different. That's why a lot of guys you see a sophomore slump too. But it usually goes one way or the other. So you stress that as much as you can as a head coach, a position coach. And I think the strongest thing too is veteran players who've been through it and seen it too.
Cam, I think one of the biggest things is how different the NFL is from college football. It's just a reality check. It's like a slap in the face. You think you're great until you get up to the next level and find out how hungry guys are to get paid for a living that have to take care of families.
Great call. And that's the thing. Like everyone's saying, hey, Caleb Williams, like I watched him play some tough games in the Pac-12. Nothing is guaranteed. And as for Brock Purdy, 7th round draft pick, Mr. Irrelevant, he's been fantastic, but he's going to need protection. A lot of guys, they have more tape on him now. It's not that easy. It's one of those things, man. It's hard to repeat back-to-back seasons like that. So I know the 49ers are one of the more popular teams, but, I'm still pissed off at Shanahan for the Super Bowl, to be honest with you, the way he handled it. Really, really, really angered me. I don't even know why I bet on that team. They suck in Super Bowls. Like, my two best friends are Niner fans, and I'm a Seahawks fan. We should hate each other. But honest to God, I told these idiots, I go, I'm never betting on your team again. Like, all you guys do is screw me in the Super Bowl. Like, every time. Like, why do I bet against Kansas City, Scott? Am I glutton for punishment?
Well,
just foolish.
I don't like the Niners either, and so I don't like your friends. And I don't like any of them. And it is what it is. And they're stuck on 5, just like where I want them to be stuck, because the Steelers have 6. And when the Patriots got them, it upset me. I don't have time to worry about the Niners. I hope they keep losing. Kevin O'Connell talks about being safe and not rushing TJ Hawkinson. We don't have enough time now, they're telling me. I'm under a tremendous strain here, Cam, as you can see. Not that anyone's worried about TJ Hawkinson or anything at this very moment of their lives, or the Vikings for that matter, who I think are going to stink. What did they try to sell me? Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. Everyone's trying to convince me that the Vikings are going to be tough. I'm not buying that at all. But when we come back, we will hear from said coach of the Vikings about his situation with TJ Hawkinson, their great tight end. We've got more coming up as well. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Johnson. It's all happening quickly on Coast to Coast.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Got to get the first bet 1,500 from BetMGM. Everybody's doing it. They just won't admit it. How do you get it? How about 4 easy steps? 1, download the BetMGM app on iOS or Android or visit BetMGM.com. 2, sign up, open an account, put $10 in it. You're rolling. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. You heard me. And 4, if the bet does lose, your bonus bets are going to be available once your initial wager is settled. Here's the kid and caboodle. You could bet up to $1,500 on a bet, and if you lose the said bet, BetMGM is going to put $1,500 back in bonus bets in your account, and you are styling. It's like a free bet. You're going to be loving life at BetMGM. Get the mobile app now on iOS or Android. Now back to the Kevin O'Connell. We've been waiting hand and breath for the thoughts on what to do about T.J. Hawkinson for the Vikings. Here we go.
You referenced T.J. Hawkinson earlier. Where is he at in his recovery? And we see him running hard.
Every time I see him, working on the side field, it becomes awfully tempting to corner Tyler Williams somewhere in the building and demand answers on when when we'll be able to start implementing him. Maybe off the PUP and get him a little bit of work, whether it's just simply individual, some routes on Eric, start getting him some timing with our quarterbacks. But where he's at, albeit very well ahead of maybe where some of the medical folks thought he would be. There is an injury there that a timeline exists, and we're going to try to stay true to that while also giving him ops to push to maybe shrink that timeline a little bit.
Even in a place where you can start thinking about week 1 for him?
No, not yet.
Whether it's yes or no?
No, I don't think it would be responsible at this point with where he's at in his rehab to start even me personally thinking about, are we going to have him, are we not? Want him focusing on what he can control, which is what he's done an unbelievable job of so far, which is his daily mission of just attacking this thing one day at a time.
Here's an idea, Cam. Throw the ball to Justin Jefferson and not worry about the guy that's not ready to play yet.
No, I love Justin Jefferson, but I think T.J. Hawkinson is going to be really, really important, Scott. I know we have a different opinion about the Vikings. I actually think, they can maybe win 7 or 8 games. I think that whole division will be separated by like 1 game. Like, I think everybody's very, very equal. The Vikings could have some growing pains. I think O'Connell's a good coach, though, and I think they'll grind in some games. They do have some really talented, skilled position players, so I'm not as sour on the Vikings as some.
Yeah, I'm not ready to get excited about Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy as a rookie, to be honest with you, and we'll see what they're made of in short order. Jalen Johnson, cannot believe he didn't make the top 100 players list. Here he is from the Bears.
There ain't no way. I don't know how you make Pro Bowl, All Pro, and you're not a top 100 guy. I could have been 101, I guess, but Aaron Rodgers didn't even play in the season. He was voted. So, hey, everybody make mistakes. It ain't just the media that do it. The players, clearly, if they voted for this, they made some mistakes. But it is what it is. End of the day, I know the truth, and it's okay. I got some more for him.
Does stuff like that, though, drive you? Maybe not drive you, but does it just kind of feed?
100%. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I know I go out there and line up, and I know receivers go out there and can't say that I'm not one of the best people, best player they played against. So just whatever it is, it happened. It doesn't doing it that wouldn't have just moved me to where I feel like I'm complacent or anything, but just to see it, ain't no way 100 guys better. Ain't no way, and especially guys who didn't play, who were hurt, played half. Ain't no. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I love that guy. He's just
Me too. He's good, Scott. He's good, too. He's only been in the league a couple of years. He had 4 picks last year. The Bears, actually, he was their best guy in their defense. The thing is, hey, I love this. Any way you want to motivate yourself, fake motivation, real motivation, make you angrier, that's fine with me. You're right. That guy brought it. So now the best thing is, now he's got to bring it again. He put it out there. So now you got to put up or shut up and have another great year and go to the...
I think he's a great player, and it really is amazing to me, though, how much he wants more money every time I blink. This guy, how many contracts have they given him in the last 10 years? How many contracts has he had? And he's never happy. He's just never happy. He signed a deal yesterday, and got this fat 90 million, 65 million guaranteed. By the end of this year, he'll be complaining he wants more money.
I got to tell you, too.
He gets worked up when other people get paid. He wants to get paid again. Every time he burps, this guy wants more money.
I got to be honest with you, Scott. I don't know how you feel about it, but $65 million guaranteed money for a veteran player, like, it's kind of like those situations where you want to stay hungry. And you're getting that money guaranteed, and now you're thinking, okay, injury, am I going to come back as fast? I'm going to do whatever. You almost want to, that's why those rookie deals, teams win on rookie deals. Look at the Seahawks with Russell Wilson and Purdy with San Francisco going deep. That's what happens because you have more money to spread around for the rest of the team. That is a lot of guaranteed money, Scott. You're right. And he always wants more. He's a great player and all, but it's a lot of guaranteed money.
I got to tell you, it's about time that because he's their best player, right? So let's get real here. You need to get them a playoff win, not just get into the playoffs and lose, but actually win a game in the playoffs. The Dolphins, they're like the Cowboys. They go now to the playoffs and they don't win, and that's just the bottom line. Can Tua lead the league in passing yards? I want to see. And remember, they also gave Tua and Waddle big deals in the offseason. Can Tua lead the league in passing yards? Here's the passing yards odds. And obviously, he's 850, plus 850. Of course, Mahomes is the favorite to lead the league in passing yards. Who do you think wins?
I like Jared Goff at plus 750, and people can laugh at me all they want. I think that Detroit Lions team is stacked. I think it's a great number. I believe in Detroit. I think they're going to win that division for fun. I think they can win the Super Bowl. I've already got a Super Bowl future on them. And I think Goff gets disrespected. The guy's wicked, and he's got so many damn weapons. I look at that list. I go, Goff is the guy at plus 750. I don't know how Burrow is coming back, but I kind of like the guys at the bottom of the board better than the guys at the top of the board. Dak Prescott will be playing a lot of games with, injury. You know what I mean? Kind of racking up yards without even being that effective, and that's why he's a scary guy at plus 750, but Goff's my guy.
All right, so there are reports that the Steelers and Niners are in the final stages to trade Brandon Ayuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're also open-minded about who's going to be quarterback number one. It could be Justin Fields. What do you think if the Steelers land Ayuk in this alleged trade?
I think it's huge. The Pittsburgh Steelers, want to talk about another division? You could make a case for any one of those teams winning the division. I really can't. I think Pittsburgh's actually a great team. You know what the thing is, too, with Fields? You put him in packages where he can run. He's got a better offensive line. Hell, the guy was running for his life in Chicago. Now you got a real team. Like Pittsburgh, I think he'll do well there. Russell Wilson, too. He got beat down by Sean Payton. They're both in way better situations with your team, Scott. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a very dangerous football team.
Multiple fights broke out between the Giants and Lions at their joint practice today. In fact, Daniel Jones and Joe Shane, the GM of the Giants, stepped in to break up fights at different points of the practice. Also, edge rusher Zadarius Smith had to be carted off at the Browns practice today. No information yet on the injury. And Vikings receiver Jordan Addison is officially charged for his alleged DUI in L.A. last month and given an October 7th court date. So we give you all the skinny from around the NFL on C2C.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Oh, he's playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Himself, Smylie Kaufman, on, host of the Smylie Show on SportsGrid. You can follow him on X at Smylie Kaufman. It's SMYLIE Kaufman, KAUFMAN 10. Smylie Kaufman 10 on X, and your styling. You can catch the Smylie Show on SportsGrid. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's a badass show. He's got all of his golf buddies on there. He does it all. Smylie, I told you before that I didn't know a lot about you prior to you coming to SportsGrid. I had heard of you on television and had seen you on television doing some golf work, like on the Golf Channel, et cetera, this and that. But when I really was blown away, and I said this to you, I think last week, maybe off air, but I really think you're incredible on the golf course as an analyst. I think you are, without a doubt, unequivocally the best golf analyst I have heard in decades on television doing live golf. The work you did on the Open Championship was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I am telling you, you are top shelf. They got all these Dotties. She's incredible. They got all these people that have done it over the years. Vern Lundquist in the tower at 16. I am telling you, no smoke. You are one of the best on-course analysts I have ever heard do it, and it blew me away. I mean, blew me away. I'm like, this guy's a badass.
Scott, man, those are a lot of very kind words, and I appreciate it. It's it's kind of been a joy to kind of run into a second career in media. You know, I wanted to be a pro golfer, and that's what I dreamt of being. And once I had injuries and kind of ran out of my luck a bit in that, kind of lucked into this whole thing, and I've figured out this has been my dream job that I didn't know I dreamed of. So it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate the very kind words.
Well, they have obviously, I've been around a lot of television executives in my life and, powerful people, and they have obviously figured out how talented you are. When you did the golf, when I was listening, because I like the Open Championship, I think it's the best major, bar none, hands down, no questions asked, not even close. All these people at Augusta can have a pimento sandwich. It's great, but it's not the Open Championship. It's not links golf. It's not those pot bunkers. It's not that wind, that rain. Everything about it is a true test of the champion of the year. And to listen to you talk about hitting a shot out of fescue and how the ball flies out of that grass, it was so different than what I'm used to. What I'm used to is them saying, well, he's going to hit a 7-iron here. He's going to try to hit it about $195. The wind's 5 miles, blowing right to left. But you actually talked about how the ball comes out of that grass and how quick it comes out, even when it's wet. And I thought that was what the difference was between you and everyone else. And I didn't know. I didn't know all about your pro career and your injuries and anything else until Carver High told me that you had that. I just thought you were some golf guy. Like, I'm like, how does that guy know that much about that fescue grass? I go, man, he must really do his homework. It turns out you know how to hit that ball out of that fescue, and it's the hardest thing ever. And I think it makes a man out of golfers. So I just want you to know how much I appreciated your
thank
your work.
Thank you.
I think you're brilliant at it. What about Scheffler? 6 birdies on the back 9 to win a gold medal. You talk about stealing everyone's thunder.
Oh man, the Olympics heading into this year, I've been somebody who's been kind of not all in on Olympics in golf. I think the first 2 iterations we've had at it, one starting in Brazil and then the other being in Tokyo, it never really got off to the hottest of starts. And then I think this year, finally, we saw what the Olympics in golf can be. You had players buy in, you had an awesome golf course, and then you had just finally getting some buzz around a place and the players buying in. It just felt like finally we had something that resembled, a major championship type of feel. It felt like a 5th major this past Sunday with Scotty Scheffler being the guy ending up winning. But crazy, John Rahm, you wake up and he's at 20 under, he's got a 4-shot lead. And all of a sudden, Scotty Scheffler just kind of works his way up the leaderboard and clipped John Rahm by 8 shots. 10 shots over the final 8 holes, Scott, which is kind of hard to believe.
I have never seen John Rahm melt down like an ice cream cone like that before in my life. He had 4 bogeys and a double. I mean, Jesus, like that sounds like one of my rounds. I have never seen anything like a guy that good, but just absolutely collapse like that.
I think it's a little bit credit to the golf course. This is a course that guys were taking it low, but also it was a course in which if you were a little off or you're a little tentative, bogeys were around at this course. And you kind of saw it a little bit on the 12th hole with the chip shot. I felt like he was a little tentative on, and then just made a mental error at the 14th, a par 5 hole in which pretty much all the guys were birdieing. Scotty Scheffler got up and down from the left rough, same left rough that actually it took a couple extra shots for Rahm to get it in the hole and making a double bogey, like you said. So it was epic. I mean, Scotty Scheffler just has been incredible this year. Xander Schauffele obviously winning 2 majors, but I think the player of the year race, in my opinion, unless Xander just does something crazy at the playoffs, I feel like Scotty's done enough this year to have locked up player of the year at this point.
Who do you think's gonna, respectfully, I got about 45 seconds, gonna do well at the Wyndham this week in Greensboro?
Scott, I had all of my notes set up for the Wyndham Championship and who I like this week, and then I go and look at the weather forecast and realize the hurricane is going to be going right through North Carolina. So it's going to be, I think, a very wet Wyndham Championship. I think Thursday and Friday, if they're lucky to play 18 holes. And then I think Saturday and Sunday is going to be a marathon, potential a Monday finish. But players I really like, I think Billy Horschel coming off an Open Championship, a really good week there. He's the player I got my eye on.
Hey, so we're going to have you through the FedEx playoffs on SportsGrid, which is going to be absolutely badass. Smylie, great work. Keep it up. It's good to see you, my man.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just got this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. He's playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, I'm filling for Carver High's leftover segment, which he's a huge fan of, as you know. Michigan coach Sherrone Moore, as I said earlier in the show, could face suspension and show cause penalties from the NCAA for the sign stealing investigation. I don't know what he had to do with it, but they're saying Moore accused of deleting more than 50 texts between him and Connor Stallion. So he erased a bunch of text messages, apparently, allegedly. Michigan is not expected to face any retro punishments that would force them to vacate their title. So Moore has been accused, and we'll see what they come up with at the NCAA. I don't like those people. Kansas man who destroyed Jackie Robinson's statue is sentenced to 15 years in prison. I hope it was worth it going to deface the statue and destroy the statue of Jackie Robinson, and then you get 15 years in federal prison. Like, it's one thing to go out and toilet paper somebody's yard or steal the arch enemy's mascot from the campus. It's another thing to face a Jackie Robinson statue and get 15 years in federal prison. I mean, honest to God, what could be worse? How stupid are you, honestly? O.J. Simpson's estate forced to sell off valuable items to help pay off the $117 million debt owed to the family of Ron Goldman. They have been trying to get money since before Christ from O.J. Simpson's estate and from O.J. Simpson, and they've never seen a penny of it. That is unbelievable to me when you think about it. And he gets more attention when he dies than they got for their son being murdered, frankly, by him. That guy still gets more attention dead than the Goldmans got fiscally or otherwise. Hurricane Debbie in the Ferrall finish here, bringing catastrophic flooding and heavy rains to Florida, and is also expected to do the same thing in Georgia and South Carolina. And you heard Smylie even predicting it for North Carolina, and we're predicting it in New Jersey and New York. It is literally going to rain in the East Coast from tomorrow, and it's already raining in Florida, literally from tonight through next Monday. It is going to rain for a week. It's Noah's Ark City. An 11-year-old juvenile terrorist arrested for making 20 bomb and shooting threats to various Florida schools. They're breeding them young now, Mafia. An 11-year-old juvenile terrorist. What could be worse? And I was worried about the COVID-3 strain. New York City homicide rates remain 20% above pre-pandemic levels, even as the national average drops below them. Always good to check in on the city I live in and how many people are being murdered. Elderly man's severed foot lands on a parked car after he jumps to his death from a luxury high-rise in New York City. I always love, and Mafia used to love doing it with me, taking a stroll through Hell's Kitchen and Times Square, always wondering at all times whether or not we would see a torso or a severed foot or a head land at our feet from someone jumping out of a skyscraper or large apartment tower in New York City. Mafia and I, it's a lot like whack-a-mole. You walk around and just hope that something doesn't land on you and crush you from above. Iowa parents kept a 4-year-old disabled son in a makeshift cage. Isn't it bad enough that the kid is already disabled, yet you want to cage him and tie him up and put him in prison, a little more than the prison he's already living in? The Iowa Parents of the Year. John Jr. Gotti rages at reporters as his wife and daughter plead not guilty again in the alleged slur-filled Long Island basketball brawl. Nothing like getting into a fight with a mobster's family at the high school basketball gymnasium. You do not want to get in fights with mafia families because they hold grudges forever. And they will get even with you eventually. By the way, a California music festival hit with a potentially deadly fungal outbreak. People were breathing in through their nose and mouth the spores of fungal death and carnage to your innards that will eat you alive. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnABench.com for everything else. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
Technically, despite having the most wins in both the AL and all of Major League Baseball, 52 of them for New York, no longer the best winning percentage.
You expect your front offices to hit that gas pedal when it comes time to get a better team on the field post All-Star break, because the one thing that you know from the Yankees and the Orioles is what, Ben? You're going to fight with each other throughout the stretch here, and you want home field advantage.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in and the angles he needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hoberg.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.